And good evening, listeners. We appreciate you tuning in to Anishinabe Sober Voices, a forum here on WOJB where we talk about what's happening in our local area, the indigenous community, and recovery and drug abuse and all sorts of different topics. And joining me in the studio is Mary Ellen.
Hi,
How you doing?
pretty good.
Yeah.
Boy, that's loud.
Is it loud?
Mhm.
Oh, just you are. That's okay. And introduce who our guests are here in the studio.
Okay, but first I want to say bonjour. Nyogisha kukwe nishinkas bijou dudem. It's been a hectic couple of weeks. I haven't been on the radio for a while.
Maybe
And
give us a little brief synopsis of what happened at Women in Water.
it was beautiful. The healing ceremonies were really great. We had Skip Sandman down here from on the lake, and he did some on the spot healing.
Wow.
We had a wiping with the tears. It was incredible. And our Tuesday group of presenters was just fantastic.
Mm.
And we had a question and answer after their sessions, and that was really spectacular too. Monday was great, and then what was it? We had a big storm. I think when was that on Monday night? I think.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was on Monday night. I think, and we were going to have the jingle dress dance, but we had another we were in the middle of another ceremony when the started raining and wind, thunder and lightning, but we were safe in the lodge.
The lodge stood.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And then police came and told us that it was going to get worse, and they wanted us to go to the casino. We had campers out there, so they all went to the casino. The casino really put them up and made beds for them and treated them really nice. And
Wow.
I asked the policewoman, I said, how did you know about us? The tribal chairman called her. And that was really neat.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
So he was worried about them out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. And our people, our participants and guests, and everyone just thought that was such a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah.
To take care of them, So it was good. And then we did some recordings with some tribal people, and I left that Sunday after the gathering. I left to go to Chicago and start those. So I was gone for about a week, and we were transcribing and trying to get those ready. I hope we can have them done by the end of the month. And I have to go back again on Monday.
Wow.
And so we'll be working on editing and putting them on Blu-rays, and so it's going to be really a work week.
Mm-hmm.
Doing things that I never did before, and but watching our tribal members when they were talking on these recordings was really great. So we were talking about traditional way of life all the time.
Yeah.
And we had the Badger singers. We recorded them, and the Pipestone singers. We recorded them too. We have about 80 hours of information.
Mm-hmm.
So we were putting them in three categories: ritual, traditional, and cultural.
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to be. We can put 40 hours, 40 hours on a Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to try to do. But, you know, we always have wonderful guests with us all the
Yes.
time. And individuals are eager to talk about their story, always willing to talk about their story, always
Mm.
willing that their story might help somebody, will help somebody, not might,
Right.
but they always do help somebody. And that's what our guests are looking forward to do tonight. And we have Dakota. Dakota's been wanting to do this for quite a while, and she's here.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
And
Glad
then
you came.
and then we have Patrick, and he's willing to sit in with her too.
Mm-hmm.
Bonjour,
bonjour.
Mm.
So they're both really. I know them. They help out at the center, and they do anything to help us out. So
Mm-hmm.
and Patrick and both Dakota have been really. They keep our grass cut. They
Mm.
keep our. They haul away our garbage for us. Women and water.
Yeah.
He left his trailer there and we filled it up. It was-
I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really neat and never had that kind of service before.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really good to us. So I'm really glad to have them here. And Dakota, you can introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Dakota. I don't know, I'm just really nervous on here.
Yeah,
No
I
problems.
am
No
too. So
problems.
I
don't
don't
feel
know
bad.
why.
We're just talking, just the four of
Right.
us.
Mhm.
I just gotta remember I'm not, the world's not listening, or the res, I should say.
Right. Yeah.
Um, well, it's exciting to be here, though.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
So, how did you get to this point in your life
Oh,
where you're at today?
it took a long time. I struggled with heroin, a while back. So, that was really hard to get off of. And then, all the men, well, not all of them, I should say. Wasn't with a lot of men, but the men, say, for instance, my baby daddy or somebody, the person I was with was always a big influence on my life. So, you know what I mean? I always followed them and what they were doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I got into drugs bad and, just, it wasn't good. Got my kids taken away. I'm thankful their grandmother, Chris, takes care of them and she lets me see them now. But from where I am right now, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I've been sober for a while and it feels good, being able to actually see life for what life really is and how beautiful it is, and just being able to see my kids. But it took a lot of work, but it's
Yeah.
possible.
What brought you to the point where you said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Pat.
Yeah. did
He
he
was
say to you, I'm sick and tired of you? No, not of you, but just where you're living at life. Was he able to hold up a mirror to you and just say, here's where you're at?
pretty much, yeah. He kind of gave me an ultimatum, it's either that life or, I can show you a better road, one that's
Mm.
healthier and. So I picked up the phone and I just called what is that, LA Phillips, and got the help I needed. Him and Charles Kaigaby Jizo brought me down there to Eau Claire and
Mm.
went down there for a while and detox, and I don't know, from there I just been doing a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I go to all my meetings, my AOD meetings. Behavior health has been a big help too. The counseling there, they're great. So everybody who's listening, go there. You'll get the help you'll need. Promise. But yeah, Pat's been a really big support through all this. I'm happy to have him
Yeah.
here with me, I should say.
Yeah. Pat, how about your story? Where do you come from and what's your history?
Well, I've been in and out of prison most of my life. My dad passed away in, what was it, 2006, and I just went downhill from there. Started drinking. I'm an alcoholic, you know. Um, I can't say what do you call it? I don't know that other monkey on the back to be judging anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I can only be there to say, hey, that's not the way to go, and try to support them to get them off. Um, so part of what I do is we work every day. We help all people in the community, haul garbage, haul furniture. I pick
Mm.
up scrap metals and everything everywhere on the reservation, off the reservation. We offer lawn care services and stuff like that. So we try to stay busy and try to help people out doing it. People that don't have a job or can't get a job, I give them the opportunity if I need a person to help me. If you're sober, come help. You
Mm-hmm.
know, or a place to stay. If you're sober and off the drugs, you know, you always got a place to stay and come eat. Um, I don't know. I'm good in my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
I met Dakota in February, and I did give her an ultimatum. I said it's this way or that way, and she picked up the phone, and that was it.
Yeah.
She chose that, and we called our good friend Jared. Thankful he took us down there that night. We both took
Mm-hmm.
Dakota down there that night, late at night, and she sobered up, and you know, um, I decided to stay sober because of my kids. Uh, I finally got my son back after 5 years. I was in prison for 5 years, and he was in a home in Eau Claire, more like a facility that for disabled children.
Mm.
Um, because they couldn't find a foster home to certified to take care of them around here. So I fought and fought and fought even after I got out of prison, and I finally got him back. And now the relationship with me and my daughter's grandmother, because my daughter's grandmother has her,
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Jack, is good. I see my baby whenever. Um, my baby knows me now.
Mm.
We got a baby on the way too.
Mm.
I'm sure everybody knows that by now. So, things are going really good for us. What? Oh.
Yeah, very cool. And Mary Ellen, how did you come acquainted with these two besides hauling your garbage? What?
I've known Pat and his family all my life.
Mm.
His dad, I knew him really, really, really good for a long time, and I grew up with him. So, but anyway, Pat, Pat, we started out with the Christmas food baskets in it.
Yep, Christmas food
Yeah.
baskets. Yep.
And he just come right in and helped. And he even carries around a jar that people put their change in,
Mm.
and
I buy bows during the bow season,
Oh yeah.
and I put a big jar out there, and I put Mary Ellen Baker donations on it. And when people come in and they got extra change, they throw it in that jar, and I
mm-hmm,
take that jar over to Mary Ellen when it comes time, and I give it to her, and then we go buy the food, we put it in boxes, and then I even help deliver.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, he was delivering a lot of boxes before we got the LCO police involved. Now they take a lot of boxes too. So it was, yeah, that's where we started working together, and he's been good. He's been good to me. So I can't kick about him at all.
Mm.
And he's always honest. He's honest. He's hardworking. His son is hardworking too. His son is right there helping.
Mm.
And Dakota, she's out there. I didn't know you were pregnant.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did know.
No.
At first, it was a secret. I didn't want nobody to know, but then, it just got out. So my mom has a big mouth. No. Sorry, mom.
Happy time. Wow.
Most definitely.
Yeah, my mother, when I was pregnant, my mother used to make me work hard, walk and work and walk and work. She let me rest a little bit and then walk over. And she had me go, and I had to do everything. She wouldn't let me rest. She said, "Yeah," she says, "you work hard like that, you won't have a hard time." And I never did. Never did. When in childbirth, I never had a hard time.
That's
So,
good.
hmm Now I know you're walking and working and.
Oh, definitely. Pat never lets me sit down. No, just kidding. No.
So when is the baby going to be born?
I'm not sure yet. I didn't go to my first appointment. My first appointment is on September 14th, so I'm just
Mhm,
waiting for that. Find out.
mhm,
My guess is they'll probably like 2 months pregnant
mhm. Wow.
or 2 months, something like that, somewhere around there.
Mm.
Mhm. Good. We'll have to have a baby shower and the whole works.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But getting back to our
Topic.
our
Mhm.
topic, yeah. So what do you see for yourself as far as sobriety?
I don't even know. Like, I just want to be like more part of my culture and just around my kids and just set a good example. Lead by example because, you know, I felt like I was never there in their life and their grandmother tells me that just I don't know, just be there for them more. And, I don't know. I just want to be a good person. I want
Mm-hmm.
to be like okay.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to always have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figure if you work hard and get to where I need to be.
Day at a time.
Yep. And it's not hard. Like there's some days where I just want to just what would you say fall off and use, but I always remember like where I was. Where I don't want to go back to.
Where were you?
Oh, I was lost. I didn't feel like I didn't even know who I was. Like, I don't know. I was just worried about getting high and chasing that high. I don't know. It was sad. 'Cause I didn't
Mm-hmm.
care about nothing, or nobody. And even my kids, that's what really sucked. That's what hurt the most when I had to admit to myself that I loved them, loved heroin more than my kids, That sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to that point, I don't know, I just don't want to go back to that ever again.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I just want to move. You know when I want to be where I'm at now. Good, okay, happy.
Yeah. It takes a while, but it'll work. You work it, it'll work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what are you finding out about yourself in meetings?
In meetings, I don't know. I just find out that I didn't deal with a lot of like my anger or like the trauma I was put through from my past relationships and just stuff that I've seen. I never really talked about or dealt it. I just put it, but just stuffed it away. Like even like when my dad died. Like I never really dealt with that. I just kind of just used and used this to cover everything up feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Just found out that I was pretty much like hurting inside. I didn't really notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I can remember when I first started, it was always fear, scared, didn't know how to be happy, didn't know what happiness was for a long time. So it all it all turns out the way it's going to turn out as long as we put our share in there.
Right.
I always just say, I'll do my part, you do the rest.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
That's a good philosophy. I like
start
that.
yeah, start out, and then I can remember. Well, they told me it was going to get easier and easier and easier every day. They said that's a promise. So every evening I'd just before I go to sleep, I'd say, "Now, how much did I really like today?" I had to be honest too.
Mm.
Maybe 1%. Went on and on. Pretty soon it was 2%. These I celebrated when I got up to 10% of the day. I really liked sobriety. Now it's 100%, 150%, 200% sometimes.
Mm.
You know, that that's where you used to kind of evaluate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a lot of help. I had 3 sponsors.
Really.
I had 3 sponsors in AA and 2 sponsors in Al-Anon.
Mm.
So I had to go to Al-Anon because I'm a people pleaser. And I had to go to Al-Anon to understand myself as well as understand other people that wanted to drink. And I could understand why I wanted to drink, but I couldn't understand why my kids wanted to drink. especially when I sobered up,
Hmm.
So that was kind of tough to take. I ran a my daughter Denise. She asked for a foster home
Mm-hmm.
after I sobered up. She asked to be put in a foster home. So we were in court. And she got her foster home. I ran out of the courtroom screaming right in Hayward Courthouse, round the block. I just ran and ran and ran and screamed and screamed. People would have put me in the house, but I didn't care. I was hurting.
Right.
That's the only way I could get over that hurt. I know I couldn't drink. That's what I used to do. So, so that's the way I got over that until I was so tired I couldn't think. So, but
Are you and her good now? Like
oh
you guys
yeah.
talk stuff close?
hmm
That's good.
You know what? The judge ordered us to go to counseling together. And at that time, in back of the tribal office, not this one, different one, there used to be a old trailer, and that's what we used to have our meetings in. And this therapist from Hayward used to come and meet with us and donate her time to us once a month. So went on like that for a long time. And Denise used to come too. And this one night, nobody had anything to talk about, so I started talking. And I was talking about my kids and childbirth and how they looked when they were born. I started with Susie and Jonas. Then Denise, I started talking about her the minute she was born, second that she was born that I saw her. And I looked at Denise and her eyes were just big. Her mouth was way open, like, huh? She couldn't believe it. And then I got through with, and I was ready to start on Karen. And Denise says, "You mean I was born?" I said, "Yeah, you were born. You're the older Denise and Eunice and Susie were telling her that she was adopted. Yeah, and she was 16 years old and she believed she was adopted. They were
Oh,
telling her
God.
that all her
Oh
life.
no.
After that, everything just straightened out for her. She moved back home. Started going to school. She was in school. She graduated. She never drank again.
Hmm.
She never drank again. And that's the only reason why. And she never said anything before. We'd have family meetings. She'd never say anything. She'd never talk about her opinions. But after that night when she moved home and we had family meetings, she was talking up a storm. She was putting her 2 cents into this family too. Uh, Jeez, I didn't even have an inkling that those girls were doing that to her.
My goodness.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh.
yeah. But she's been in the program for a long, 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 long time, over 30 years since that time. So you never know what works, you know.
You said the Al-Anon Club?
hmm
That's for drink. Or I think I've been to I don't know a club, but a meeting.
hmm
That was behind the old tribal office.
hmm
I'm trying to think what was behind there. I don't remember. I just remember that playground.
Well, it was before you were born, I think.
I'm really trying to
Mhm.
think. Like, I don't remember that back there. Yeah, when I go to meetings, that's what really helps too. Is like when you hear like people talk about their stories. So I was like, that's cool. And I was like first like getting to sober, trying to sober up because there was a couple times where I did try to sober up and it didn't work out, and I would just go right back to using. But like I'd always listen to them and I'd always be like, holy man, like they lived under a bridge or they did this, they lost that. You know what I mean? Like just
Mm.
the craziest stories, and I'd be like, oh my god. And then they got out of that though. You know what I mean? I'd be like, all right, if they can do it, I can do it. But that just never worked.
hmm
I just had to do it myself. And I guess it's like you really have to want it. And that's what I think that really works. And then staying busy after that, keeping yourself busy and reminding yourself what you're doing this for, not just for your kids, but for yourself.
hmm
That's what helps. kind of sucks too, cause like I don't have I have friends, but I mean like not as many as I used to. Like, you know what I mean? Cause I use, and that
Mhm.
hurts me, cause I miss them.
Mhm.
I just hope one day they, decide to go down that red road.
Yeah, that's what happened to me too. All my friends were drinking friends, and when I sobered up, then they all come talking to me, and pretty soon they were sober too.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it happens that way.
Like I miss being able, all of us, just being able to talk, just not just sitting around and worrying about getting high.
Uh-huh.
Just maybe, I don't know, like maybe doing stuff with our kids, stuff like that. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah, but it's not easy,
Hmm.
but it's not hard.
Right.
You know, just what's hard. What was hard for me was the hangovers and being broke and not
You're like,
wanting
oh, the 49ers.
being broke and not any money to go buy a, what do you call it, the dog that, what do you call that stuff anyway?
What stuff?
No, the thing that bites you or something.
What?
The hair of the
Hair of the
something
dog.
that bit you or something like
I don't,
that.
Well,
I don't know.
Buy another
that,
drink.
that was an old saying. None of us young people know what that is.
you know, you know what my uncle told me one time. Him and I used to drink together. He was one of my triggers. But we used to drink together, and we were sitting there all sick and everything. I was trying to figure out how to get something to drink. And pretty soon he says, we were sitting right close to the TV too, thinking that would, get into television, would wipe that stuff out, get over the hangover. Anyway, he says, you know something? He says, when you eat something and it makes you sick, he says, you might try it again. And if it still makes you sick, you leave it alone. He says, alcohol and drugs, you know it's going to make you sick, but you do it anyway. He says,
Mm.
time after time after time.
That's
It's a
true.
promise. Life of heck, I mean, to me, it's not worth it anymore. But you never know, it's cunning, baffling, powerful. And I tell my kids, that if anything, if I ever drink, and I told them that when I was really, after about a couple years, I was really liking sobriety. I evaluated myself around 75. And I was really liking sobriety, and I told them that if I ever drink, I said, just take me away. I said, put me someplace where I can't get at it. If you have to put me in jail, put me in jail. I said, because I can't help myself, you know. So I'm leaving it up to you to help me. So I'm telling you this when I'm really sane, and I know what I'm talking about. That I truly like sobriety. So they they said, yeah, we'll put you away. You better believe it. They don't want to see me like that again anyway.
Mm.
Oh, I used to be awful. I'm just, and at that time, everybody was awful. You know, your dad didn't drink.
Not since 1981.
Yeah.
Used to be an alcoholic after,
Mm.
or before 1981.
Yeah. They say when if your dad's an alcoholic and has a child, it's 50% chance that you'll be an alcoholic. The baby will be an alcoholic. Have that addictive tendency.
Yeah.
And if you both the parents are alcoholics and drinking, then the baby has 100% be an alcoholic too.
I didn't know that was hereditary.
Hmm.
hmm They see what they see you doing it, so that's what they pick up.
It's in the makeup. It's not it's not you can't it's not a habit. It's in the makeup. You know how you feel when you use? You can't find that feeling anywhere
Mhm.
but sobriety. And you know how you feel when you use. I knew if I take one drop of alcohol, I would. I, that would change me a whole lot. You know, it would change my character, my mannerisms, the way I think, the way I see things. It would change me so much,
Mhm.
and that's the makeup of our body. You know, it's not a pattern that we can develop. It's not that. It's in us,
Yeah.
and it grows even when we're sober. It grows and
Mhm.
grows and grows. And if you use again, you're right back where you started. You
Mhm.
know, where you left off. It grows that much. It's really like they say, cunning, baffling, and powerful. That's what they talk about like that. So, not scaring you, am I?
No, I'm just listening. It is scary though. I mean, just to think about going back to that. I mean, I don't plan on it. I just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't like that feeling, the sickness.
Yeah.
And that's scary too, because you know, if that last time could be my really last time, I could die from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've lost a lot of, well, yeah, a lot of my friends to that. You know, I lost one of my best friends, JJ. He passed away from that. OD'd.
Yeah. But Al-Anon helped me the most. Al-Anon, begin to understand a little bit more, a little bit faster than what I was getting in AA. You know. And then
Yeah.
I walked into the traditional way of life, and that's what really answered all the questions that I had. Everything is answered, just unfolded, and I look forward to hearing traditions. I look forward to listening to elders. I look forward to um, practicing what I learn in my life, practicing that, and to me that's the answer to me. So okay, Pat, you're shaking your head.
Yeah.
You cannot shake your head. You know, you're going to be called on for something. No. You can talk too.
um, when I first got out of prison this time, it's been a little over 2 years now since, you know, all the other times I get out of prison. I'm in and out of jail every other month, you know, because of alcohol. Alcohol, as soon as I drink, I like to fight. You know, I was always fighting,
Mm.
and I'd always get right back up and go again. You know, it's just like I didn't feel nothing when I was drunk, so I just get angry. You know, Shingababu. You
Yeah.
know, it's beer. I'd be a happy drunk on beer. You get me on anything heavier than that, then it was a fight. You know, it got to the point where some people didn't want me there because they knew I was going to get violent off the alcohol.
Mhm.
You know, when I got out of prison this time, um, my niece Amanda helped me a lot. She bought me my first truck, which got me started. And with the truck, I worked the truck and worked the truck until my house was back in order. Um, I had friends in the community that gave me stuff for my house to help me get my house back in order. The tribes helped me a lot. You know, I got a lot of community back. And then I got called upon by a lady to come work at Chief Lake Lodge, and that's where I really got it. I was a cook down there,
Mm.
um, but then I backed away from the cook position, and now I do their grass every week. We do lawn care every week for them. They got really good food down there, no lie. um, you know, but my niece is why I'm where I am today. You know,
Mhm.
if she didn't buy me that first truck, I'd have struggled. I'd have struggled. I'd went back to drinking, and I'd have been right back behind bars again.
Mhm.
You know,
So that
and
truck saved your life.
it did. It
Mm.
did because a truck is my lifeline. I like to haul. I like to work it. I like to haul things. I like to. I can't do the 9 to 5 job because my son he's got certain disabilities that doesn't allow me to work a
Mhm.
9 to 5 job. He's got to be by my side at all times.
Mhm.
He can't go to the babysitter because I'm getting a call an hour later saying, "Hey, come get your kid." You know what I mean? Um,
Mm.
so I basically have to go out and learn how to make money.
Mhm.
And my dad, Art Tainer, he he taught me a lot when I was a child. Um, Hunting, fishing, gathering, what's in the woods, what can we make money off of in the woods, or what can we utilize our resources, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mm.
And that's basically what I do is I utilize my resources. I'm really big into recycling, and I pick up a lot of people's garbage in the community, and I keep telling them, if you separate this and separate that, your bill won't be so much because you're going to be only be paying for the garbage. The other stuff is it ain't gonna it's free dump, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Recycling's
You're
free.
recycling stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It saves on the cost of your dump.
Mm.
Um but it never, some do it, some don't.
Mhm.
um but yeah, like another big influence in my life is my brother McTainer. You know, he's uh he's the oldest now out of me, Terry, and Bill. And Bill and Terry passed away.
Mm.
um, still, still trying to catch up with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just they both passed away while I was locked up,
Mhm.
Mm.
so I didn't get the chance to
Wow.
be there for them.
Yeah.
Um, my dad, he passed away when I was on the run. Drinking put me on the run from the law. Um, but I didn't make it to his funeral, and then I ended up going in after that. Um, so today, we're doing. I guess we're doing a lot better.
A
You
whole
know,
lot better.
every day I try to add something to my house.
Mm.
You know, we go out in the community. We get calls from people all over. Come pick this up. Come pick that up. And to them, it looks like garbage or junk. But to me, I might be able to fix it or use it at my house.
Mm.
Mhm.
So a lot of stuff that is at my house is reused stuff. Reclaim they call it. And that's how we got to where we're at. Um, we got a bear problem up there, big time. He got in my truck, and he busted the window in her mom's car the other day.
A
What?
bear?
Yeah,
A bear breaking
yeah,
windows now.
breaking windows, and
Yeah.
then
They carry a hammer with them or what?
I don't know. He busted in my chicken coop like 5 times,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
I finally got sick of fixing it. So now my ducks and chickens and my big goose are cruising around the yard every day, and
Oh dear.
they come to my bedroom window and honk at me until I come out,
Uh-huh.
come out and feed them.
It's crazy.
thought
You
you
guys
said
should
you're
see it.
gonna
He like
that
goes
you
at him and like talks to him. I swear.
Yeah, my goose,
Yeah.
he comes up to me and he'll like talk to me or
Yeah, right.
whatever,
Yeah.
turning his head. When anybody else comes out there, boy, them birds take off.
Uh,
The only one that can go by them.
I thought you were gonna say after you destroyed the fence, you brought them in the house and
Oh no, they would poop all over.
Oh, sometimes we bring the birds, a couple birds in the house to give them a bath, let them swim around the bathtub a little bit, clean them up. But otherwise, it's right back outside.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. we, that's, I've always wanted chickens and geese and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's kind of fun. My neighbor, he got some chickens also, so he kind of walk me through what I need to do with them
Okay.
and stuff like that. And, everything's a learning process. I like to learn, ricing season's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 canoes at my house. I got a 35-foot camper. I'm thinking about putting up a camp down on one of these rice beds and telling people, hey, come down. You guys want to learn how to rice or you want to go ricing? Here's stuff to do it with, I mean, I got that available. Like Mary Ellen says, I help a lot of elders and people in the community with stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
My
You should
goose.
see him. He'll get out on one knee though, and he'll be like honk honk, and that duck's just talking away.
Yeah, he'll come right up
I
to me
always
and
laugh. I'm like, oh
quacking.
my god, Ace Ventura.
Yeah, there's been a few people that have been big supports in my life. My friend Dave. Every time I get out of prison, he's right there for me. My brother Dan Goke, he's always been there for me. Like the day I get out of prison, hey, let's go do this job or let's go do this, and
Get you busy right
get
away.
you busy right out the door,
Yeah.
And that's always a big help though. When like,
Most
you gotta be
most
sober,
definitely.
you gotta stay busy because
Yeah.
it keeps you like your mind off that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And right now, like when we work, my biggest thing is I don't work because of the work. I work to meet new people.
Yeah.
And I like to hear their stories. Because you go to people's houses, they'll tell you their stories, And then next thing you know, you're leaving with your washer and dryer. Something like I would ask for that, but go
With their permission, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They sit there and talk to you. Oh, you want this, you want that. And next thing you haul in the washer and dryer upstairs. Oh shit. I guess.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I mean it's fun. We met a guy last week, and he struggled with alcohol, and I believe maybe he's got Alzheimer's now. But almost every day he'll call me. Where you at? Come give me a ride. I'm in town. He only lives right over the hill on County Hill there, and I don't know how he gets to town. He must walk. He's got to walk. But he walks to town, and he'll call me up. Come have lunch. So me and Coda and the kid will go over there and have lunch with him or something. Or, he's a good guy too.
Wow. That's pretty neat. They'll follow you around.
Oh, my duck. Oh, yeah.
you know, like a little tail. You should see it. It's cute, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's chickens and ducks, So
Follow you around.
yeah.
They follow me around. My chickens and ducks. My goose is the main one.
He's like the big boss. I like that. What do you call it? The alpha?
Yeah.
With all of them?
He'll see me get in my truck and he'll come up there and squawk at me. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Why are you leaving us? Yeah. I guess, yeah. I don't know. Well, like with my son and stuff, he's struggling. He's struggling right now. He was in that place for 5 years, and that ain't his fault. That's my fault. I accept the blame for that and why he was there because I wasn't there to take care of him. But I changed. I changed myself so he would have a better place. And he works with us every day, almost every day. He doesn't really want to work, but he might ride along. But I teach my kids, these things because one day I'm not going to be here, and maybe they can't get a job, or maybe something happens to them. I mean, my biggest goal right now is my property. I want to put up these tiny log cabins all over my property, and when I do go, each one of my kids will have a place to stay. Every one of them have a place. So if they do go out there in the world and they have a fall down or they fall down, they always got some place to pick themselves right back up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And by doing so, they can come back and they know the skills that I taught them. You know, the hunting, the fishing, the gathering, the recycling. You know, there's money in recycling. You know, um, I guess when I got out of prison, I told myself I didn't want to be a follower no more. I wanted to be a leader,
Yeah.
and I got to stay sober for that.
Yeah.
You know, even my PO let up a lot on me. You know, at first she was no, 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 no to everything, and then all you know. Now it's been 2 years I've been out, and it's like with my circle of life, you know, prison out, prison out, prison out. Now it's stopped. There is no more jail or prison because I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to do to get back there.
Right.
And the whole telling the truth right away is something I do because when I was drinking, you got to cover up a lie with a lie with a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you don't remember the first lie you told. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say that.
So
Yeah.
it's like, well, better face the consequences. I'd rather face the consequences now. You know, I mean, with the truth, you get farther with a person. You know, you tell somebody the truth, and they may say, "Hey, you know, okay, at least you told me." You know, or versus a lie, you lie to them, and then they find out later, and then they hate you. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
then you feel bad about yourself and push yourself right back down to a lower level to where you start getting depressed and drinking. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of days I wear a smile, and I think about drinking. You know, and that smile may be fake,
Mhm.
but I wear it anyways. You know,
You fake it till you make it.
make most definitely fake it till you make it, because
Yeah.
I forgot
you
about that
know,
saying.
yeah, you know, I still think about my sister and my dad, and my brother. You know, and I struggle with that.
Mhm.
Going home every day, seeing his house up there empty. You know, going downhill. You know, I know it's rotten from the inside out or the outside in. Either way, it's you know it's in bad shape.
Mhm.
But that's a sight I got to see every day on my way home. You know, it's like when you look in that big window, he's standing there looking at you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like he's still there, but you know, Patrick, we had to tell my son that Uncle Bill was out on the semi because that's what he did. He drove truck,
Uh-huh.
and he was 4 years old when Bill passed away.
Mm.
And we just told him Uncle Bill's out on the truck for a while, and so every Christmas Bill would get him a semi, you know.
Mm.
So every year I'd get him a semi and say, "Hey, look what Uncle Bill sent you," you know. And then he finally caught on, you know.
Yeah, he was a good man.
Yeah, I remember that day when he was going through cancer. He was my sister-in-law Robin left the house. It was just me and him there, and he said, "Come on, let's go." He says, "I want to ride in my semi one last time."
Mm.
I said, "Bill, you can't drive that semi." He goes, "No, you're gonna drive it."
Mm.
I was like, "Oh crap!" So I picked him up and put him in that seat in that semi, and he was telling me how to do all the gears and stuff. Man, we were hitting it, hitting it down the road, and
Weren't you scared?
yeah, a little. Yeah, that was a big truck.
Yeah.
First time driving a semi, and
He was such a little guy too.
Yeah.
He was very.
yeah, he was.
Had a couple pillows in the seat. No, just kidding.
Yeah, we hit her down the water tower, our dry town. But Robin said about 100 people called her, said she seen that semi flying by.
Yeah.
Thought Bill was driving it. I said, nope, I figured it out. Grinding gears and everything.
Mm.
She drives semi too, huh?
Yeah, she still drives semi.
She's got his truck.
No, she's got a different truck now. Yeah, it was kind of hard on her keeping that truck. So she got herself a new truck, and I don't know who she drives for anymore. She lives in Minnesota somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I see her once in a while, you know.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel good talking about him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
that's good.
yeah. Then there was my sister Linda Kagaby. Um, that was that was my drinking days, and that happened all of a sudden. Like that night, it was me, my sister, Sarah, and two, I think one or two of my other sisters, and Linda, and a couple other friends. We were drinking and having fun. And she dropped her phone in the toilet, and she had to go to work the next day. And she's like, brother, I dropped. I need a new phone. So I went out and bought her a phone and gave it to her. And she got to work and she called me. Well, she usually calls me before she leaves the bar because she was an alcoholic herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't call me that time. She didn't call me that night. So
Mm.
the next morning, I was kind of calling around asking, hey, where's my sister at? And my niece came in the house and told us that she passed away.
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Just like that,
Wow.
you know. So that was a rude awakening to drinking.
Mm-hmm.
That could happen to me or anybody, really,
Mhm.
you know.
They leave a legacy. They leave a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
They leave a lesson. They leave a story. And they leave us. They say that when one, they don't die in vain.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that gets sober or does a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they never leave us in vain. So Emily, it doesn't help with the feelings, but
But,
it's just the way it is.
It's a lesson in life, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And we can take it, or we can go back to what the kind of life that we don't want to go back to.
mm-hmm.
But we can let them go and let them be happy, and we know that they're happy because on Earth, when you drink and when you use, you're not happy. You're covering up feelings. You're covering up a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like my daughter too, when she got killed in a car accident all of a sudden, and she was with Sheila Barber, and my daughter got killed instantly. It's on the highway towards Minneapolis, and
Mhm.
we were having a big family get together out on the deck, and the police come in and took me inside and told me,
Mhm.
and it was a shock. I didn't believe it, and I couldn't see her body because they had closed the casket, so I couldn't see her.
Not at all.
No,
Mhm.
Oh,
my daughter, her sisters, they all washed her body and took care of her, but they didn't let me see her. So it was a hard time. It was a hard time to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
It was harder to believe that. You know, if I believe in life, I believe in life. I believe that the teachings about life, and then if I believe in life and the teachings, I have to believe in death and the teachings too,
Mm-hmm.
because they tell us that where they go is much more beautiful and happy, and
they're healthy
you know.
and young and all that.
Mhm. So I'd rather see and believe like that than to mourn and like not take care of myself, because I know they want me to take care of myself.
Right.
My mother, my dad, my grandpa, my grandma, my brothers. I had two brothers leaving within 6 months of each other, and I know that all my brothers except David, that they're all in the spirit world, and I know that they're happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that they wouldn't want me to feel bad. And I know that they would want me to carry on with my life and
Mm-hmm.
do the best I can. So that's what I believe. And that helps me a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be happy. I can be doing my purpose in life. I can be working hard. Sometimes I cry, but not like I used to,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't feel pity or sorry for myself either, you know. But, um, but that's the way life is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wonder about like when you say that, 'cause, like my grandma, her daughter passed away, and I remember every year around Christmas, right before Christmas, she'd get drunk, and then one year she just like stopped working, and stopped everything, and just kept drinking. And that's
Mm-hmm.
all she does now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if that's what she got let get to her, you know what I mean? That grief.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes you can't pull yourself out of it, you
Yeah.
know. Just takes you. And then alcohol on top of it just doubles or triples the feelings,
Sure.
you know. One time my brother Charles got killed in a motorcycle accident, and again that was all of a sudden, and I couldn't cry. So I thought, well, I'll go out and drink and maybe I'll cry. Couldn't cry then
Mm.
either.
The crying chicks.
Couldn't even get the crying jakes.
Mm.
Yeah,
My goodness.
yeah. But you know, life is what we make it.
Yep, exactly.
And it's not just us, it's everybody else too. It's, you know, life is what they make for themselves.
Yeah.
So, but
I guess all
tonight,
we can do is just lead for example, you know? Hopefully someone just got something from whatever we told, right?
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. We know that somebody is going to get help today. Gotta believe that. Or we wouldn't be doing this, you
Mm-hmm.
know, or we wouldn't be sitting here and telling our heartfelt stuff,
Right.
you know, our heartfelt need things in life that we overcome by being straight and sober and believing that we can do it and knowing some days that we do it. And, but there isn't any doubt in us anymore, you know, because of the things that we do accomplish when we're not drinking. And I always tell myself when there's something really tough happening, I always tell I've been through worse than this, you know.
Yeah.
I've been through worse than this, almost died. And I said, I can do this. This is okay. I can do this. This ain't gonna hurt me, you know. I may
Mhm.
be nervous and afraid a little bit, but they tell you to face your fears,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I say I can do this. This is this is nothing compared to what it used to be,
Right.
you know. So
Mm.
so you know we get our tests, you know. I've been sober a long time and I still get tested. I still can taste it, you know.
Mm.
And they say that, you know, when you're drinking or when you're using, you always like yourself, your picture. I had a picture of myself when I was drinking, and after I sobered up, they told me that in treatment. And I come home, and the first thing I looked for was that picture. I still liked myself when I was drinking. I
Mm.
said, geez, you haven't sobered up at all. So that every year on my anniversary date, I'd pick up that picture. Geez, you look good. And so the next year, I put it away next year. Every year I did that for about 15, 20 years. And they said, yeah, you still look good. Every year it was like that. Finally, I just didn't pick up the picture anymore. You
Oh.
know? Put that away. It wasn't doing me any good. Put that away. But it was comical too, in a way, because it kind of tests what you hear in treatment, you know?
Oh yeah.
You kind of try it, you know? Practice it. So,
Mm.
but when I was in treatment, and a few of us got sober after that, and we started holding feast. we start putting on feasts. We'd invite the treatment center people where we were, all the counselors. We'd invite them to our feast, and they'd come. They'd come, and we'd be having a good old time. They'd be talking to us, and they'd be listening to our stories, and they'd be telling some of theirs. When I was when I was in treatment, the director, he says, he says, my wife, was she never let me do anything because she was always afraid I'd come home drunk. I never hit her or anything, but she just never liked to see me acting foolish, I guess. He says, so so I was at home a lot. Said I'd go out and water the lawn, and I'd come back drunk. She'd try to figure out where did I go? She was looking, watching him all the time. He never went anyplace, but he was still drunk. He rigged up a keg of beer, and a couple of spots in his yard, and he hook up his hose to the water, and another part of the hose he had the two. He'd hook them both up, and whenever he wanted beer, to drink a beer, he'd flip a switch and he'd get his beer through the hose. and then when she'd be around, he'd be watering the grass.
Grass for a couple hours.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's comical to hear stories like that.
And part of the grass where he got mixed up, which switch was on, it's all dead, right?
Yeah.
Killed it with beer. Oh my
I don't
goodness.
think he missed a drop though.
No.
One time I was at the uh, Packer game, and yeah, I was up there.
I'm just kidding.
I was standing up on top. It was right on top, and there was big flights of stairs all the way down. They're all cement, and there was maybe a railing or two, but it wasn't too much. So I was standing up there, and I was watching the game, and this guy come up, and there's a lot of drinking going on. This guy come up, and he had two great big glasses of drinks, and he was coming up, and he was wobbling, and I was afraid he was going to fall backwards, but I think he held out those like this, like you never spill a drop, and he was holding them out, and he was almost teetering backward, and he caught himself. I don't know, maybe that weight on those those cups, balanced him a lot. But I was afraid he was, and then I thought, geez, they never do spill a drop, do they?
Oh dear.
Yeah, drinking stories.
Well, we've gone over our limit, but that's okay because
He's
Robin
not coming
Thomas.
in, huh?
Robin Thomas he's there. Robin, are you there on the air?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, man. I'm trying not to get no feedback over here.
Yeah, I hear that a little bit. So
Just a
you
little
said
bit.
you had a story to share.
I do, and I'm going to turn this radio down
Yeah.
just for a brief moment. I can still hear it a little bit there. But anyways, going back to and I was listening early on in the show. I was kind of in and out throughout the hour there. Going back to the parents' influence on, the outcome of how we turn out, when I was younger, my dad used to drink, he used to party. He's a Powell guy. Anyone around LCO remember my dad, Edmund Thomas? He used to, he's a Powell guy, but he liked to go party too at the 49 and whatnot. One of them kind of Powell guys, so, but back in the mid 90s there, eventually, like Mary Ellen was saying, eventually you get sick. And he got real sick, his liver wasn't doing too good, and they had diagnosed him with the autoimmune hepatitis, which, it was, kind of stemmed from that and, everything else, whatever else was going on in his life at the time. But he took those steps, and he really focused on the spirituality and the powwows and, really, kind of got a grasp on it. And then he's been sober, since then. He's now 73 years old, still kicking.
That's good.
But also, stemming over to that, is I never really party too much. My siblings don't party at all, hardly too much, So yeah, the parent influence, if you're a parent out there and you are struggling, make that motive, teach your kids that, you can have rough times in life, but you can make it,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, very cool. Well, I think we'll turn the mic over to you, sir, for
And thank
drum
you.
sog. Yes, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yep, thank you. We would.
Thank you.
And we'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.